Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. Today we are going to study a topic from developmental biology that lays the basis, which is sperm maturation. You all might have heard that the sperm matures in the testes and then travels through the epididymis, then gets more mature and then moves to the female reproductive tract. But the final stage of maturation occurs in the female reproductive tract. Let's study how. Basically, the sperm maturation takes place in three stages. The first stage, as I told you, maturation in the testes, right? Which is the process is known as spermatogenesis. Then we come to the second stage, which occurs in the epididymis, where the sperm acquires motility and addition of decapacitation factor. Because you might have heard about capacitation, or maybe it's new to you. We'll study about capacitation also. Decapacitation factor is present until the sperm is fully mature. Okay. Then we have the third stage, which is the which occurs in the female reproductive tract. Okay. So till till date, you might have been knowing that sperm maturation majorly occurs in epididymis. But in epididymis, what happens is sperms become morphologically developed but physiologically incompetent. That is, they are incapable of fertilization. Let's study how. So from today onwards, you need to learn this new thing that sperm maturation finally completes in female reproductive tract. Let's see how. At the time of release of sperm into the female body, sperms are motionless. Morphologically, they are mature, but physiological and functionally immature. That is, even if they have reached into the female reproductive tract, they are not capable of doing the fertilization or undergoing the process of fertilization. They are transcriptionally silent but translationally active, which means that they can not form the mRNA, but protein formation can occur. Then, when the sperm reaches to the uterus, the uterine muscles show contraction when the sperms are released into it. Okay. Due then, uh, I have uploaded the structure of sperm also. I'll attach the video link. You might have seen that on the sperm we see prostaglandins attached. What these prostaglandins do, they are attracted by the progesterone, which is released by the cumulus euphorus layer of the egg. Okay, this is due to the presence of prostaglandins around the sperm. Okay, progesterone. See, I have told you, progesterone from cumulus layer helps in locating the sperm, the precise location of egg. That is, the exact location is told or indicated by the cumulus layer. Okay, the female reproductive tract kills various motionless sperm by providing innate immune response and hostile environment. That's why majority of sperms die when they enter into the female reproductive tract. Okay, sperms must devote significant time in female reproductive tract to become mature and fertilize the egg. That is the third stage of maturation, and this process is referred to as capacitation. So I have written a question also. Capacitation or final maturation takes place in the uterus or the fallopian tube, right? Then we have, sorry. Then when we move further, the in vagina, the number of sperms we see is 4 million and they remain there for 45 minutes. There you can see on the sperm prostaglandins, fucose, and the pH maintained is 7.4, which is alkaline. The see, this is the uterus, right? So basically the sperm has reached this, so it needs to first go upward, then only it will reach the site for fertilization. So this upward movement is referred to as the chemotactic movement. Okay, I told you this is because cumulus release progesterone, which directs the upward movement, right? Then it moves to the oviduct. We have attached oviduct here. Okay, okay, where it remains for 3.5 to 5 hours. Okay, and which region of oviduct, that is ampulla. where the capacitation occurs. So if someone becomes more precise and asks you that where does the process of capacitation occurs, you need to say the ampullary region of the oviduct. Okay, here the sperms are made competent, rich in carbonate ions and albumin. Okay, the cumulus, again this point, the cumulus oophorus release progesterone and the sperm follows the progesterone and reaches the egg. Okay, sperm, basically this is the egg and this is the sperm. This releases progesterone and the sperm follows this pathway in order to reach the egg. Okay, prostaglandins present around the sperm when come in contact. See, here the sperm has here the sperm has prostaglandins around it, which leads to the contraction of the uterine wall. This uterine wall contraction pushes it forward, right? Then sperm should be present. This is very important point. Sperm should be present for few hour duration in the female reproductive tract in order to become active, and this process is again referred to as capacitation, which occurs in the ampulla. Okay. Firstly, in vagina, the sperm shows straight movement. The tail shows movement slight, unidirectional. It goes like this. Ciliary movement you can see. Time spent by the sperms in vagina is 30 to 45 minutes. The sperm shows opposite movement to to that of mucus, rheotaxis. You might have heard that when sperm entry takes place, the mucus development or deposition takes place. Okay, this mucus is deposited on the cervical region, and the sperms move in the upward region. And this opposite movement is referred to as rheotaxis. Right? The time spent by the sperms in oviduct is about 5 to 6 hours, basically in the isthmus and ampulla region. Okay, what if this step gets skipped? Sorry, this is because, see, this is the isthmus region and this is the ampullary region. Here the sperms get fixed, attached. Okay, if the sperms will not be attached here, then they will directly come into contact of the ovum, which will not give it time to undergo capacitation, and hence the sperm will not be able to undergo fertilization. Okay, if this step is skipped, they directly come in contact with the secondary oocyte. In this condition, sperm will not be able to fertilize, that is, it is the uncapacitated sperm. In ampullary region, the sperm is present for 5 to 6 hours duration. It comes in contact with three main things: calcium, albumin and cholesterol, right? Albumin helps in the procedure of cholesterol efflux, which means that the cholesterol present inside the plasma membrane of the sperm moves out, which is cholesterol sink. Okay, the major role or this initiative role taken by is albumin, which helps in the procedure of cholesterol efflux. Then all the other processes are followed. Okay, due to this procedure, certain changes takes place in the membrane. Firstly, in the composition, then the fluidity change, and the change in the fluidity causes the opening of potassium voltage gated ion channels. Let's see how with the help of a diagram. Right? Yeah. If the fluidity increases, the ionic movement across the cell membrane increases. And if the fluidity decreases, no or less ionic movement across the cell membrane. Okay. So I told you. Firstly, the albumin. It binds with the albumin. Sperm binds with the albumin, which leads to the cholesterol sink. These cholesterol molecules move out. Okay, as they move out, the ion movement across the cell membrane increases, and firstly, opening of the potassium VGIC. This is the potassium VGIC. It opens and the potassium moves out, leading to the influx of calcium and carbonate ions. Okay, this enter or influx of calcium and ions of carbonate leads to the activation of adenyl cyclase molecule. Okay, And as we all know, adenyl cyclase converts ATP into cyclic AMP, which leads to the activation of peak A, which is a kinase molecule, and kinase leads to the phosphorylation of tyrosine kinase, and tyrosine kinase further leads to the phosphorylation of sperm proteins, which is the process of capacitation. Okay, carbonate ions increases the dynein activity, which leads to the hyperactivation of sperm, which leads to the swimming. Okay, now let me repeat the entire process. If you have any confusion, then please focus. As the albumin comes in contact with the plasma membrane of sperm, the cholesterol efflux or the cholesterol sinks. This increases the fluidity, and this fluidity increase leads to the opening of potassium VGIC, leading to potassium efflux, that is out of the cell, and the resting membrane potential, which is minus 70, now reaches to minus 71, minus 72, and minus 73, and continues further to more negative amount. Okay, which leads to the more negative inside the plasma membrane, creation of hyperpolarization state. Okay, this hyperpolarization state leads to the opening of calcium VGIC and carbonate VGIC open. Right? The influx of calcium and carbonate causes the activation of adenyl cyclase, which utilizes ATP and to form the CMP, which is the cyclic AMP, which forms the phenyl phosphokinase A, which leads to the phosphorylation of tyrosine kinase, phosphorylation of sperm proteins, and this is the process of capacitation. Okay, the entire maturation of the sperm into the female reproductive tract is referred to as capacitation, and the final definition is the final or the essential maturation inside the female reproductive tract to gain the ability to fertilize an egg is capacitation, and this also leads to the expression of higher uronidase. Okay, the outcomes for capacitation are hyperactivation of sperm, thermo and chemostatic movement because progesterone increases, rapid asynchronous movement with high degree. This sperm, which was earlier going like this, now it going like this, very fast, with high degree of bending of sperm tail. Sperm tail shows bending like this, and this movement occurs asynchronously with high degree. Removal of decapacitation factor. I told you decapacitation factor जब तक present होगा on the sperm, it won't allow it to fertilize the egg. Okay, the cell surface lipid remodeling, cholesterol efflux occurs because of capacitation. Intracellular pH changes due to ionic movement. Due to change in sperm membrane, the ECM is also changed. I hope you have understood the topic entirely. If you have any doubt, please drop down in the comment section. If you like the video, please like, share and subscribe. Thank you.